on, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
The like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't talk.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't talk.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't talk.
What?
Don't talk.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen. And as always, I got a lot to talk about. Actually, not too much to talk about tonight. So, maybe the panel will have something to add. If you guys in the chat have something to add, this would be the night to do it. We'll talk about the 2 games the Knicks had since we last met, which was an impressive win against Cleveland, not so impressive loss, against Atlanta. We play Orlando tomorrow night. Big game. The Knicks are just a half a game behind Orlando. We're in the 5th spot, and we're just a half game ahead of Miami, who's in the 6th spot. So the race is tightening up. There's some talk that OG is playing 5-on-5 and maybe back soon. Mitchell Robinson is running. Randle doing some light work. So, the game may be all together here pretty soon. We'll talk about Shake Milton. Did the Knicks need another guard, right? And what does that mean? Is he just here for insurance? Is he somebody that has a chance to play? What does that mean for the rotation and anything else? Let me bring in Jerrell, Ajay, Geoff. We late because Ajay is coming in with some, on some BS about Thibodeau. Tibs cannot get a break this season, I tell you. But anyway, and this is the one who complains about how people treat Randle and how people don't respect him enough, and they always, zeroing in on the smallest little things. He does the same thing when it comes to Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, he's still my guy, though. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Salute to the chat.
Always happy to be here.
Back on Thursdays.
And Queen, but I complain about how they treat Tom Thibodeau too. So you have to say that. I complain when they don't treat him right.
I don't know about that. I don't remember that. Maybe we got to get Stafford to pull up some tape.
Right.
On you defending Tom Thibodeau.
The receipts, Stafford, a right aid of the crew.
Right. And while we talking, shout out to Stafford had a little medical something, going on, but he's doing well. I talked to him before the show. So shout out to you, Stafford.
Shout out.
He said he'll be listening in the background, so he won't be in the chat unless we say something about Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, we know how to pull him in.
Right, or call in for the half-hour telephone call, right?
or if I say Sims is sorry again, he gonna try to come up here and jump me.
Right. Exactly. Stafford, man, he. I think it's a leg problem. That mouth is still going strong, though.
Yeah, he's straight. Stafford is straight, man.
My God, shout out to you, Stafford. Get well, my brother.
Word.
So let's talk about the let's start with the 2 games the Knicks played against Cleveland and then the loss against Atlanta. What stood out for you guys? I already know for Ajay what stood out was Thibodeau didn't play Precious Achua in the 4th quarter, and that's why we lost the game. But for the rest of us,
for me, I'll go real quick. For me, it seemed like we probably won a game we should have lost and lost a game we should have won when you think of the 2 teams. But when you have a team full of players that wouldn't be getting the minutes that they're supposed to be getting, when you're down 4 starters out of 5, you can't really complain about this stuff, man. You kind of take these games with a grain of salt now. Like I want to win every game. You know what I mean? We're all Knicks fans, so we want to win every game. But if we lose, there are reasons why we're losing these games, man. Like Tom Thibodeau can't turn water into wine. He ain't Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't. There's only so far that he can go with this roster. Like Josh Hart is playing his butt off, even though he didn't have a stellar game against the Hawks. But he's averaging like how many minutes in the past
80.
couple of weeks? You know what I'm saying? Like he playing 2 games in one game, Geoff. Like, so yeah, you can't really complain. At least for me, I can't complain. Like we'll be here until our guys come back. We just have to hold the fort down. Andy, what's up? What up? Salute to Andy.
Salute to Andy, who has touched down in the United States. I think he was in Brooklyn today, my hometown.
Right.
I am playing Andy in fantasy basketball, and I know I was going to win only because he's not going to be paying attention to his roster and making changes or anything like that. So
No.
easy week for me. But salute, Andy. We will see you Sunday at the Philly game. And those who are not going to the game and want to meet Andy, we're going to do a live podcast pregame and postgame at Legends right across the street from, what is that? The Empire State Building. Right across the street from the Empire State Building, Legends. So anybody want to come join us, please do so. Salute, Andy. Be safe out there in them streets.
Yeah, man. Make it to Sunday, man. I got to see you. Don't get locked up, man.
Right.
And why people don't be playing that.
Oh boy, Ajay, I'm just kidding with you. You know you my guy. Let's get out for you.
Besides Tibs, like Jerrell said, we won a game we should have lost and lost the game we should have won. So the end result is the same 1-1. I mean, listen, we have a depleted roster. We played a very inspired, a very emotionally charged game against the Cleveland Cavaliers and came out with the dub. Against Atlanta, listen, there are games where guys just can't hit shots, and it's not like we played the same game we play every time. It's just shots just weren't falling. We had the open shots, we had the opportunity to win. It just didn't happen. And you know what? It's the NBA that it happens to the best of them. A couple of days ago, Golden State Warriors they got blown out by 50 something points. Their shots just weren't falling. So it just happens in the NBA. So, but bottom line, and even in the game we lost against the Atlanta Hawks, you could see the grit, the determination, and the mentality of these guys never giving up. Like they coming into play, and they were down by some 20 points in the first like half or something. They got to within 6, or they didn't tie the game, did they? They did.
Yeah, they did.
They did, right? They tied the game, right? So I mean that's gritty right there, and that shows the tremendous amount of work and effort that the players and the coaching staff are putting out there. Listen, kudos to them, man. They lost the game, yeah, but you know what? They left it all out there on the floor. So that stood out to me. That even remember we out 4 guys, 4 starters we're out. So yeah, definitely shout out to them. Great effort, and that's that stood out to me.
Yeah. Geoff, and we'll go around, and Geoff, you could add this to your answer if you want. Who stood out over these past 2 games as well. But yeah, just your impressions of the Cleveland and Atlanta game. Yep. Jerry, the Knicks went 7-9.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What stood out to me is that, as Ajay said, we had a bad shooting first quarter. I mean, he was getting great looks. I mean, wide open looks for DiVincenzo, really shots that we want. But yes. I think with the way that the roster is right now, when we dig ourselves a 15-point hole, it just takes us so much energy to come back that, yeah, we got it back to even, but then we were spent, we were gassed, and we didn't have the people to really, we didn't have the depth that we normally have to kick it into another gear. They just looked gassed to me in the final quarter, and so, I don't want to make excuses for them, but I when you dig yourself that big a hole early on, especially for a team that lacks offense like we do without Jalen Brunson. I mean, we are one of the worst offenses in the NBA when Jalen doesn't play. So when you're down that big, you got to find a way to get points. And to their credit, they found a way to scratch and claw their way back in the game. But then at the end, they just couldn't find enough offense to. And I think it forced the coach to kind of play a more offensive lineup, and that affected our defense because Bojan is not it on the defensive end of the floor. But as far as who I want to spotlight as far as players are concerned, I think Deuce McBride has really done a good job and shown that he's a rotation quality player. I think I saw a stat that he had like 24 assists and just 1 turnover. So, he's not a point guard, but when he does have distribution of responsibilities, he's not turning the ball over, and that's critical, and that's something that's going to make Tom Thibodeau trust him even more. When you take care of the ball, you're not loose with it, and he's had his ups and downs shooting the ball, and you can see when he's kind of asked to be one of the main guys as far as scoring is concerned, he's not going to have the same efficiency when all you're asking him to do is kind of squat in the corner and knock down a jumper, which is something that he did with great effect earlier on. But and his defense has translated too. I think his defense has been very good on balance. I think there were some there were some spotty parts here and here, but again, here's a guy who's now tasked with guarding the best player, guarding one of the best perimeter players. And that's not something that he was always asked to do. I mean, a lot of times he'd come in on the second unit and he's just out there to wreak havoc and guard 94 feet and just make the backup point guard's life miserable. Well, now he's having to and what has he played? He's playing Josh Hart minutes, right? He's getting the 47-minute per game treatment right now. I mean, I thought it was something that Brunson goes down in the first 30 seconds and Deuce didn't come out. Like, he stepped in the game and he didn't even get a water break. He played the other 47 minutes and whatever seconds it was the rest of the way. So kudos to him for just doing that, and to do that in a win is really stellar. So to me, he's the guy who's stood out the most. Really disappointed in Burks and Bogdanovich both. Bogey's at least given us some scoring. Like, I think he had 20 in the Detroit game, but his 3-point shooting hasn't really been there like you would expect it to be. And I don't know if that's because we're asking him to play a bigger role than maybe he's comfortable with at this point in his career, or if it's just that, sometimes your shot's just not falling. I mean, he's 40% on the season, but that doesn't mean you're not going to go through stretches where you're shooting 20, 25, or even 30,
Right.
So it could be some of that. And Burks has been super disappointing. I mean, if there's anybody I'm upset with on this roster, it's him. And he just looks lost out there. I don't think he knows if I don't know what he knows if he wants to be the creator or the helper, or then he's trying to do both, but he's doing neither. I'm not sure what it is, but at this point, I would rather give those minutes to Deuce and Shake. And I don't know, as I admitted on Monday night, I know very little about Shake,
Right.
but man, he's been tough to watch. Burks has, and so I think that if you're surrounding him with better talent, I think that would certainly help. And it sounds like OG's going to be back for the West Coast trip, so that's going to help a ton.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think McBride has played well. I think I would probably say Josh Hart, but you can't go wrong with either one of those guys. I think it's good to see McBride coming into his own. Um, and I think he's even getting better creating offense. Obviously if there's a player right in front of him, it'll be hard for him to get to the basket. But if he already has a step, or if the person is not squared up, you see him getting in the lane, kicking the ball out to a 3-point shooter for a shot. I mean, there's levels to this, and he'll get better, as time goes along. And I know there's some like, oh, he was always like that. He just didn't get an opportunity. I don't believe it. I just think that he's gotten better over time. And that shot is working. The pull up is working now. I'm not going to say he's 100% stout when he's running the offense, but he's getting better even doing that. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing from McBride. I like having options. I like going into the playoffs. If McBride is on, let him play. If not, we got somebody. We're not stuck. If we don't even need to play Burks. But if we do and he plays a good game, then he can play. I just like having options. And I'm really hoping that one of the outcomes of these injuries is Josh Hart getting his mojo. Just really finding himself, coming into his own more. The Josh Hart that we know, and hopefully it continues when OG comes back, Randle, if Mitch makes it back. And now he's going back to 30 minutes, 28 minutes, whatever it's going to be. I hope that energy level stays the same. I really like what I'm seeing from him. I think every championship contending team needs one of those guys, one of those utility guys, so to speak. Is going to do a little bit of every. Don't ask them to, they can fill in, but don't ask them to be something they not. They're gonna, they'll be fine. I gotta say though, I'm not real worried about Burks and Bojan, because I feel like, yes, they haven't played well. Coming into a team that's injury riddled, and being thrust into positions in which we're asking more of them. I'm gonna wait until the team is back and see how they play in their regular roles, in their regular minutes, without these higher expectations on them. I think both of them will be good pieces. However, if Burks is not, McBride is playing well. Hopefully that translates to the playoffs. And we'll talk about this later. Shake Milton, I know there's a lot of what do you want to call split opinions on on Shake, whether we even needed him. But yeah. Anything else on this week? Let me tell you something. Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell didn't play, but Cleveland, they're a better team than they were last year. Are they tougher than they were last year? I don't know. I don't know.
I think they soft as cotton. And I would not mind playing them in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Listen, you can be
Teflon.
One thing about the Knicks, we already know about the grit. We already know about the mentality. There might be times our shots go south. There might be times, something you're not going to ever question about the Knicks is their toughness and their grit. And afterwards, Mobley, I don't even want to get into it. I don't think they've grown in that respect at all.
Mobley, the two-piece.
The two-piece of biscuit. Oh my God. And you know what? I saved that. I gotta pull it up though. I think I saved it somewhere. Because it's a YouTube clip. I think I saved it somewhere. When you want to laugh, you just bring that back up and just listen to it over and over.
Mobley said they got out of rhythm when Brunson got hurt. He got hurt in the first minute.
I heard that. What an excuse, man. What a
Like that's why y'all lost. Because our best player went down in the first minute of the game. That's why they lost. One thing, Steph, I want to tell you about.
Yes.
I want to say about Josh Hart. I don't know if the injuries or him actually getting more minutes is helping him though.
Okay.
I actually think the opposite way, Josh. I think the less minutes he played, the better, because that means that's how much more of a dog he can be when it comes to his energy. That's why. Not that he can't, handle it, because obviously he's been handling it. He's been averaging more than 40 points for the past 3 or 4 weeks. So, yeah, I think I would rather him, get his like 20 something, high 20s, low 30s in the minutes.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think he's going to be even better. I was just thinking that, these extra minutes is helping him get his groove back.
Like finding his shot, you mean? Like
everything. I just feel like his energy is better. He's being that all-around player we used to. You look at the stat sheet, you seeing, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a 3-pointer, and what doesn't even show up on the stat sheet. I just feel like he's looking more like himself, but I agree with you. We do need him to be
double the other night.
Yeah.
Double the other night. Yeah. No doubt. What do you think about DiVincenzo in the sense that, do you think he's better, like similar to Hart? Not necessarily minutes wise, but similar to Hart in that he's better when you're not asking him to do too much.
Yeah, of course. You could put the minutes in there too. Like, I don't know why everybody think that just because, Dante has been playing better and, he's in our jersey right now, but he's still Dante DiVincenzo. I didn't expect him to be an all-star when he came here. He obviously has, superseded what we thought he was going to be. He's a lot better than we thought, but he's still Dante DiVincenzo. His ceiling is still only so high. I don't expect him to play better than what he's playing now. Like, he's not a number one option. Right now, he's our number one option.
Right.
Like, and by far, like, it's not even close. So, we will have conversations whether he's a good 3 or 4th option. This time last month. So now he's our number one option, and we're not going to win many games with him being our number one option.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to?
But the good thing with Dante DiVincenzo though is, obviously, well, he's a pro. Okay, so it wasn't a matter of him getting comfortable with the team. We know he's coming in here. He's played with guys. He's had chemistry before. He's played before and have good rapport with and chemistry with. And so we did expect him to catch up real quick. But the fact that he's filling that role a lot of time, a number one role, now you're a little bit more comfortable to put to, how Tibs like to overlay 1 or 2 guys with the second unit as they come on. You're comfortable keeping him at that guy because he could score in bunches. And you're hoping that, with let's say we back full strength, right? When Tibs pull out Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, now he gets more touches, he could put him up. So you could keep the scoring going as you bring in the second unit. So you have a guy you could do that because he likes to overlap, like leave 1 or 2 guys from the with the starters would play the second unit. So there's one guy you're guaranteed he could do that, and he's going to produce. Even if they converge on him, even if they game plan for him, he's still able to score. So it's good to have that assurance policy.
True.
Yeah. I think he's going to still get better. Like, I think next year he's going to be better than he was this year. I don't think he's reached his ceiling. I don't think the ceiling is a star now. But I think it's higher than we even seen this year. I think he'll be more. I think he'll be more consistent. I just really like what what I'm seeing for him. But shout out to Quiet Money. He makes a good point. Most role players are better in their role.
Right.
You
That's
know,
why they're role players.
right. Ever so often, somebody will get more time and they'll really shine, and you'll be like, "Wow, this player is really, is really good." I wouldn't say he's being held back in his role, but because he's the third or fourth best player, he has to play this role. Like you think about Mikal Bridges. I think he had this when he was on Phoenix, but that just wasn't his role, So he played his role, and now that he's, getting more time, you see the difference. But for most players, that's not the case. For most players, that's not the case. So, shout out to Coach who talked about gravity. This is one of the concerns I have is that most of the players on this team are players that need to play off of Brunson and Randle. I don't think we have anybody out there that can create for themselves. I mean, they could probably create for themselves some, but for the most part, it's to play off of Randle and Brunson.
Now, you mentioned him earlier. Is that the reason you think they got Shake Milton? Because he can get his
Yeah,
own shot?
let's get into Shake Milton. Now, I think they got Shake Milton for Burks Insurance.
Yeah.
I think they got Shake Milton because they thought this is what Burks would be able to do. Play these minutes, the some minutes behind Brunson and DiVincenzo, and it just hasn't looked good. And I think they brought in Shake for insurance, and I think it's also insurance for McBride too, as well as he's playing now. There's no guarantee that's going to translate. It's no guarantee it's going to translate for many of these players. So the more insurance you can bring in until you know what you have, the better. So that's what I think the Shake Milton signing was. But let's get into that. What do the rest of you think it was about? Jerrell, let us, because you probably know him better than the rest of us. Give us a little synopsis of his game.
Shake Milton. He's not I know he plays point guard, but he's not really a point guard per se. He's a scoring guard. Good one-on-one player, can get his own shot off. He's not the quickest or the fastest person, but he is savvy, has a nice little handle. He can go to the basket and he can shoot. Like he's an offensive, like he can score on all three levels, to be honest. It's just that, I don't know, I think he's a journeyman because he's not a good defender. I wouldn't say that. Even though he does play point guard, I wouldn't say that he's any type of creator other than for himself. Like he's not going to run your offense. And if you got him for that, you probably won't like him as a player if you think he's going to come in and, just be a point guard. You get Shake Milton to score. So that's what he's going to do for us if he's on the floor. He's a scorer.
So would you say he's a poor man's Lou Williams?
Something like that. Real poor. Because, I'm a big...
Lou was a great player. I don't mean to disrespect Lou, but...
Yeah. Pretty much kind of like what Steph said, come off the bench with like Burks is supposed to come in and score. Just don't ask him to be no point guard, though. I don't expect him to be running any type of offense. He is the offense. Get the ball to him on the elbow and just let him go to work.
He may have to play. Now, I agree with you. He's not a point guard, but he has played point guard for Philly when they had those injuries. And I think he's better than Burks if you had to put him at the point. If you had to. I just want to get into his career, his stats before we move on and get Ajay and Geoff's takes. 27 years old, 6'5", 205 pounds. Recently appeared in 4 games with Detroit, where he averaged 6.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists in about 16 minutes. In Minnesota, he averaged 4.7 points, 1.3 rebounds, 1.3 assists over 13 minutes. When he was with Philadelphia, 45 starts, 9.3 points, 2.7 assists, 2.4 rebounds over 20.8 minutes. And in the 2021 season, which was probably 3 seasons ago, 13 points, 3 assists, 2.3 rebounds, and 23.3 minutes in 63 minutes. And he came in 12th and 6th man of the year voting. Career, 8.7 points, 2.5 assists, 2.3 rebounds in 19.7 minutes over 6 seasons. And he was drafted by Dallas in 2018 in the second round, pick 54. I mean, like that's 54. So that's Shake Milton. I think I don't think he's a poor defender though. Yeah,
I was gonna say that. I don't think he's a terrible defender at all.
I've seen Shake get shook. I've seen him especially when he played for the Sixers, he used to get cooked a lot. Like a lot of people hated him because of his defense. Like I know, he's big for a point guard. He's like 6'5". I think he got like a 7 foot wingspan or something like that, but he doesn't really, not saying that he's a terrible defender, but he's just not the best. Like if he was a good defender with his offensive skills, he wouldn't be unemployed. We wouldn't have him on the squad. He would be on somebody else's roster.
But he's CAA. That might have been why the Knicks were able to get him.
That's true. That's true. Maybe he held out a little bit because he was on the market for a while.
Yeah.
Just like a couple other dudes though.
Yeah. I mean, just for some context, Jerrell lives in the Philly area.
Mm-hmm.
And so he played for Philly for what, 4 seasons or something like that?
Something like that, off the bench, yeah.
Yeah, off the bench. So he's probably seen him the most out of everybody on the panel. But yeah, any thoughts about what the Knicks were thinking when they signed him? I mean, I know I gave my take on it, but Geoff, Ajay?
Go ahead, Ajay.
Listen, he's here to take Burks minutes because Burks, that is whatever little minutes Burks was intended to play. Because if Deuce is playing the way he is, it's not like Burks was going to have a ton of minutes anyway. I mean, I think the guard rotation, I mean, you would have had between Deuce, Jalen Brunson, and DiVincenzo, that there will, if Tibs decide to play Burks, like you said, Queen, we don't know what he's going to do in the playoffs. He may fade in the playoffs. We don't know, but that was an insurance for that. But now you need an insurance for the insurance because Burks, he's not. I mean, he hasn't been doing it. He's had like really, really terrible games. And I think the game the other day, he put up a ton of shots, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like ridiculous, like catch and shoot, and they weren't dropping. And he's just not thinking the game at all.
This is Burks you're talking about.
Yeah, Burks. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Burks just looked like he trapped somewhere. As soon as you gets the ball, like he just looking to get out. Like relax, just relax.
He's not playing in the Florida game. He's not, and on defense, he's not doing great either. I remember, a couple of seasons ago, Burks, he was a pretty good defender, especially for his size. You put him on, on one of the backcourt guys on the other team. He's doing a good job. But now it's just he's lost out there. So I don't know. I'm guessing Shake Milton, aside from the CAA connection, they probably feel like he could probably take some of Burks' minutes in case Burks never gets on track with what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
So it's delusional. Yeah. Shout out to Delusional Knicks fan.
Word. Salute.
Yeah, I was impressed with Shake. And then I'll get to Geoff only from a fantasy basketball standpoint. When he got into that starting unit and you picked him up off the waiver wire, you looked at his stat line, you got a little bit of everything in the time that he played. I think he's going to help us. This is what I will say. We have a championship contending roster when healthy on paper. But we have no idea how these guys are going to perform as we go deeper and deeper into the playoffs. Think about Boston. They chose to get rid of their center Williams, their power forward or small forward Williams, and Marcus Smart. You know, they and they had a championship contending roster, but the further they got in the playoffs, they felt like we're just not getting over the hump, and they felt like they needed to make changes. So this is the first iteration of our championship contending roster. Who knows what it's going to look like when we finally get there? So getting as many players as we can on the roster and just see what they do. I don't think that's a bad thing. Geoff?
Well, I guess you could look at it like we traded Taj Gibson for Shake Milton because Taj is with Detroit now. So,
is he really?
But,
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
he just signed with them. He's on a 10-day with them.
Look at
So
Taj, still keeping the dream alive. Good for him.
But so I think that it's one of these cases where, is another club in the bag. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need something a little bit different, and he's good to have. He has skills that can complement what we do in a pinch, and I think some of it may have to do with they're not real sure how much they're going to be able to ride Jalen Brunson with all these injuries, and so Brunson, he's questionable for tomorrow night again. So, maybe it's a case where, okay, we don't really want to play Deuce 45 minutes. Maybe we can get Shake in here and only have to play him 35 minutes, and maybe it's a case of putting a little bit of pressure on Burks, maybe having someone who kind of does some of the same things, gets him to wash some of that Detroit stink off of him. And start playing good basketball again if he has it in him still. Maybe he's washed. I don't know. But I don't tend to think so. I think that with Bogdanovich and Burks, and I think this will be true with Shake as well, they're going to look a lot better beside OG Anunoby. They're going to look a lot better beside OG because OG is going to be able to mask a lot of the things they do defensively because he guards like 2.5 people just because that's who he is. He's just that he's the best defender I've seen in a long time. Legitimate, just one of the best wing defenders I've seen in a long time. So I think that helps Bogdanovich because he makes him more playable. I think it helps Burks because he can focus more on the offensive end, and he looks better defensively. And Melton is tall, so maybe that helps him. So I think that it's also within mind that it's just another piece that you can plug in, and hopefully, because I tend to think that we're going to stay with a 9-man rotation, but I'm hopeful that maybe which 9 players get burned is situationally dependent. So one night in the playoffs, you may need a scorer with some size, and so Bogdanovich gets more minutes. And then another night, you may need someone who's smaller that has some, can help out Brunson because he's getting trapped. So you can put Burks in there and let him be the guy who catches it off the first pass, and then you get into your offense that way. Or maybe you have Melton in that role, but you just have all these different iterations, all these different choices that you can put in the game. Even Precious Achiuwa I'll throw into there because I don't think if we ever get to a fully healthy 9, he's not a guy who's going to be more than situational, in my opinion. Not that he hasn't played well, but our top 9 is just really, really good. And, you could argue he deserves to play with the way that he's played. You can make the same argument for Deuce, though, and I'm not sure he's going to get minutes. So, you just, when everybody's healthy, you got, 48 minutes of bigs with Mitch and Hartenstein. You've got, you've got Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart who are going to play log big minutes. And then you've got, of course, Brunson. And if Randle is back healthy, they're going to log a ton of minutes. And so there's just not going to be a lot of minutes left over, for all of these guys, and some folks are going to have to sit. So I think that's what you're going to see is he just gives us a little bit more versatility. He's Burke's insurance, I think. You know, if that comes to be, and he's also Brunson insurance. If you know, I think that Jalen injury scared all of us a little bit, and so I think it's a good idea to bring someone else in as a just in case. Because look, there's still 20 more games left in the regular season, and we're supposed to get healthy, with the key word being supposed to. But you know, I don't think you can keep playing Deuce McBride 40 plus minutes a night for 20 games. You know what I mean? Or even Josh Hart. I think some of these guys are going to need more rest than that. So if you can bring in another body who's someone that Thibodeau can trust and can soak up some of those minutes, regardless of who's healthy or who's not, I think that's why he's here. You're muted, Queen.
I mean, I guess you guys answered it, you know, in terms of what does he bring. I mean, skill wise, I mean, I get what he brings in terms of injury replacement. Now we don't have to play Brunson, you know, as much, but what does he bring to, you know, I know Jerrell said he's somebody who can get his shot off, you know, off the dribble. Anything else he brings?
Ball handling, like we always talk about, you know, ball handling. He does bring that, but ball handling, shooting, scoring. I mean, he can rebound. You know, he can pretty much do it all on the offensive side of the court for me.
Yeah, I was looking at his field goal percentage, career 45%, 3-point shooting career 35.7%, which is probably below average for a shooting guard, but
a little below
that's not
average.
his game, though, is it? He's more of a drive and mid-range guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he gets to the basket.
He's more that. What's his free throw rate?
Yeah, it is
in the 80s,
82.6. I mean,
Okay,
that's
but
the
what's
percentage. I don't have the rate
Oh,
in
okay.
terms of how him, you know, him getting to the.
He averaged about like 1 or 2 free throws a game. I mean, you got to think about the minutes that he played too, though. He's not a starter, so
Right.
like even with Detroit, he was getting 16 minutes. He only got 16 minutes a game in those 4 games he played. He was with Minnesota, played 38 minutes. He only averaged played 38 games. He only averaged 13 minutes and about 1 free throw a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Ball handling. I think it's deep. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised about his defense. I don't think he's going to be a lockdown defender. But I think in our system with better players around him, defensive players around him, I think he'll be a little better. We shall see.
I'm actually surprised that because I forgot he was with Minnesota. I wonder why Minnesota got rid of him.
And they need a backup to Conley, right?
Yeah, like I don't.
And they brought him there for that. So
right, because they got him from Philly.
Flag.
Yeah, he went from Philly to Minnesota. So I don't know why Minnesota got rid of him. Then he got, went to Detroit.
Yeah.
You think it was a salary cap casualty? Maybe they're trying to stay under the luxury tax or something like that?
No, they got rid of him like mid-season, like this season.
Yeah, in the middle of the season.
But I mean, you can still make salary cap moves like that. In other words, if you trade him for,
that's true.
I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't. If it's not for basketball reasons,
right?
That's a possibility.
True.
Coach said he will look locked down with Mitch Deuce and OG. Listen, I'm hoping Bojan looks knocked down because we can really use his shooting and offense when he's on.
Yep.
And putting him, in a defensive-minded lineup, that would really, really help us.
Yeah, you can hide one guy like that. If you have 4 other players on the court with him that can defend, like those 3 and Josh Hart, for instance, that you could hide Bogdanovich really well in that case, and he, that's the ideal circumstance for him at this point in his career, I think, especially in a limited role off the bench, 15 minutes or so. Just have him be like a Vinnie Johnson microwave role, just come off the bench, light it up from three, and then just sit back down from crunch time.
Right. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the playoffs to see which players games translate to the playoffs. I'm really excited about watching that. D Grant, let's be honest, the season for the Knicks is high possibility of a wash. Russian OG Randle, Mitch back is not a good thing. Even Brunson, I hope this teaches them you need a quality backup. Yeah, we do need a quality backup, but I don't think they're rushing these guys back.
Right.
I think quite the opposite. I think they've been.
Yeah. I don't think they're rushing it. Listen, the medical staff makes that. Like, this is not back in high school, with a
Right.
coach, the medical staff, the coach has more say over who plays than the medical staff. I don't think that's, this is a long-term investment in your players. You're not rushing players back to get a game and put in their career and your investment in them, because you're paying them millions, tens of millions of dollars. You're not going to, that would be bad for your investment in them. So I don't think they're rushing them back, number one. And I think the second thing is, this is basketball. Guys are here to compete. Like, if you think front offices are looking back and be like, you know what? This season is a wash. We've had a lot of injuries. You know what? Let's just, and they got a little bored. Let's just not play this one. Let's sit this one for the season. No. It's competition. Guys like to compete. Coaches like to compete. Front offices like to compete. And if a player has been cleared by the medical staff, they are going to play. I just don't. I'm not sure what. So you just want to sit them down, despite the fact they've been cleared. I don't know. I know there's different opinions in the Knick fan base around that.
Right. How do you just quick question? How do you view Hartenstein then? That's what's kind of bothering me. I don't know. Like, they obviously didn't rush him back. It was on him, but I don't know. I seem like I would have put Hartenstein in bubble wrap, man. Like, that Achilles is bothering me for some reason. He hasn't played like himself in forever.
So, Jerrell, I heard it. Playing him doesn't endanger the Achilles. Like, it's not like it's gonna pop if he plays. Mm-hmm. Or and it's not going to get better. It's not going to prevent it from popping if he doesn't play. And I was reading that somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's obviously still bothering him though, because he doesn't look like himself at all. It's definitely not the Hartenstein that we said that was going to be our starting center over Mitch.
Yeah.
He looks like he did last year when it bothered him, and he
exactly.
played through it.
Played through it though.
He's tough. I mean, there's no doubting his toughness. It's just, but again, who else do they have? I mean, they need, even Hartenstein at half speed is better than Sims at any speed. And
You think started the Sims high. Don't get them started.
I did not say that. That was Geoff.
I know.
That time.
Hey, Sims was good the other night. Plus 17 without scoring a point. I like those stat lines. So he had a good game the other night against Cleveland. I think that was. So.
Everybody had a good game against Cleveland.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him his flowers when he deserves it. He played well, so we're going to tell him he played well. But I still, if you're giving me a choice between Hartenstein at, not great, and Sims at his peak, I might still go with iHeart.
Listen, this is the thing. Sims is limited. He's just a limited player. He's going to go out there. He's going to hustle. He's going to rebound. He's going to do one move, and everybody's going to be like, oh, my God, he has so much potential. We already know what Sims is. He's already at his ceiling, but he's going to rebound for you. He's going to play tough. He's going to play hard. If he gets switched out on the perimeter, he's going to do a good job moving his feet, staying in front. That's it. You expected more from Sims. I just feel like you dreaming. Like, and that's fine. That's what you
Especially
want,
for a
guys.
58th pick, that's perfect. I mean,
Right.
that's getting more than you expect from the second to last pick in the draft.
Right. And that's what you want from him. Come in, play your role to a T. And that's what we get from Sims. And I appreciate that from him. But to your point, with Hartenstein, he's going to move the offense along. Even if he's not rebound, he's going to move the offense along. You got the backdoor cuts. You get it just changes. Just his presence changes things. But to your point, Jerrell, that's a very good question. You know, there's no, from what they saying, you know, it's strong. They have some way to attest the strength of the Achilles. Apparently, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know what that is.
Mhm.
And that is strong and it's not at risk of popping. But he doesn't look like him. You're right. He doesn't look like you know, himself. I didn't read what Ajay read, that sitting him doesn't help.
No, well, it helps him rest it, you know, as every injury, like every, you know, but it doesn't. Sitting him will not prevent the injury from getting worse. That's what I'm saying. It'll rest it, but the minute he start playing 1 or 2 games, they go right back to, you know, see, he's got to go to treatment, therapy, whatever. Queen, before you go to something else, man, chat doing a good job. You know, it's on and popping up there. They're very hot, but y'all got to hit that like button. Let YouTube and the world know that you guys are appreciating what you're hearing and what you're watching over here on Dope Soul. You know, every Friday or Thursday, depending on the Knicks schedule. You know, right now we at 105 watching, only 48 likes, man. So we're like abysmal.
We're Mitchell Robinson free throw numbers right now.
Yep, exactly. About 50% right now.
Do that.
Bring it up.
Can't do that at all.
Yes. So. Coach, we're gonna admit that iHeart is injury prone when we start admitting that Mitchell Robinson is injury prone. iHeart has been an Iron Man. He missed 1 game last year. So now because he's injured this year, he's injury prone. Are you saying the same thing about Mitchell Robinson?
Mitch get injured every season. And some season multiple times, like throughout the season.
He hurt now. You gotta argue that.
And he'd had a couple of like real hurt. Well, this is his second surgery with the team, right?
Right.
Running and jumping again, though.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah, they said he's running and jumping again. OG is doing 5-on-5.
I did read that.
Mm-hmm. And Randle is doing light work. I'm not sure what light work.
They said contact, but not with players, like with pads and stuff.
Okay,
I heard that.
Okay. Can I ask Coach a question? I mean, hopefully he'll answer. So, Coach, I mean, then do we call Julius Randle injury prone? Or Jalen Brunson for that matter? Because he missed a couple of games this year, Jalen Brunson.
Brunson missing games last year, too.
So do we call him injury prone? I mean, you know, nobody misses game. Nobody gets injured like Mitch on our team.
Right. But is the games played for his career, is it because he was injured or is it because he just wasn't good enough to play? You know, there's a difference. You know? Anyway. We all have our guys, Coach. We all have our guys. All right. Eastern Conference Finals. Well, let me just look. Eastern Conference Final. Eastern Conference standings.
Speak it into existence, Queen.
I know.
You
Keep talking that talk.
You did that on purpose.
Miami lost tonight, so that's good.
Yes, they did.
So let me see what that does for us, because we were a half game ahead of Miami and a half game behind Orlando going into Orlando tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. We're in a game ahead of Miami. So we picked up a half game on Miami, and we're still a half game behind Orlando. Listen,
Philly's in 7th right now, right?
Philly is in 7th. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're only a game behind us, though.
Yeah, we got to win both of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If we lose, we go to 8th. If we win, we go to 4th.
If we lose tomorrow, we go to 8th.
Yeah, Miami and the Sixers both have 27 wins. We have 26. So if we're not 8th, we're tied for, like, we'll all be tied for 6, 7, and 8. I think, or 5.
Those two teams we have tiebreakers over, as opposed to Orlando and Indiana.
Right.
True.
I think, and I know we do with Philly right now. I don't know about Miami.
Yeah, I don't know about Miami.
I thought we beat them twice, but I could be mistaken on
that. You know what? I'm not really concerned about what happens in these next 2 games against Orlando and Philly. It's so tight and it's so bunched up that when we get at full strength and we run the table, or we go, I don't know, 13-3 or 15-5, whatever it is, we're gonna be right back in the 3rd spot. So I'm not. We might dip to 7 over these next 2 games. We might dip to 8. Anybody concerned that when we're full strength, we don't move up in the standings?
I'm not concerned when we're full strength. I'm concerned if we're full strength. Like, I think your premise is correct if we get there. I'm not entirely sure
if we get there
that we're going to get there. I mean, Julius Randle's, I can't see how that shoulder's going to get him, and that's his game. I mean, I can't see him not being, if he can't, dip that shoulder and use that physicality and that brute strength that we're used to him just dominating with, then what kind of a player do we have? And if he is using that, how durable is that shoulder going to be? How long is it going to take Mitchell Robinson to get back into game shape? I'm pretty confident in Anunoby. I mean, I think he's back to playing, but I don't think it's going to take him that, just based on what he does. I think he's going to be fine, especially on the defensive end of the floor. It may take a little bit to get that 3-point shooting back up to snuff. I don't know about that, but he does so much else well that I'm not overly concerned about that. But I don't, I think we all have the optimism that says, yeah, we're going to get the band back together and soon. But that's my concern, is first of all, how soon? In other words, if it's not till after the West Coast trip and we have a stretch of 2 and 6, how much winning do we have to do to get back to, back out of the play-in, for example? I don't know what that's going to look like. So I would really feel more comfortable if we could, stay at least 6 or above. And to be honest with you, as long as Jalen Brunson plays, I have confidence we can win any of those games. It's when he's out and he's questionable against Orlando, that's when it gives me pause. I mean, as long as JB's on the floor, I feel like we've got a legitimate chance to win. But when he's gone, just as you saw it the other night, I mean, we're a better team than the Hawks, and they were missing Trae Young. I think they're playing better without Trae, which is really funny to me because I don't like Trae Young. But we saw that a bad shooting first quarter can get us, behind the 8 ball and make it really difficult with the players that we have right now. I mean, you go from the 3rd best offense in the league with Jalen on the court to the worst offense in the league with him not on the court. So if you have 40 minutes of the 3rd best offense, you along with our defense, I think you're going to hang in almost every game. If you just struggle to score points like all game long, it's tough, but it's doable. They've got heart. They showed they can do it in Cleveland, but we've also seen, what did we go in the month of February? 4-8 or something like that. So it's been tough sledding. We've seen the struggles that have come with just not being whole, and the less whole we are, it seems like the more strain we're putting on our players and the more players that we're losing. So to me, let's stay as far up in the standings as we can, because I'm not entirely sure that we're going to get back to 100%, and we may not. The best we may get is back up to 80.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but even if we're not 100%, we're gonna be better than we are now.
Agreed.
We're gonna be better than we are now. I think we have a better. I mean, listen, obviously, they're gonna go out and do their best. I just feel like if we play in Orlando without Brunson, we playing Philly without Brunson. It's just we might win, but the chances are low. If we get everybody back, even if there's rust, even if they're not 100%, they still gonna be better than this team that we rolling out right now. I just feel like they're gonna be better. And let's keep in mind, Julius Randle's shoulder is his off shoulder. So when he's bumping that shoulder to create space, is with the left shoulder, not the.
That's a good point.
He's not bumping with the right and then shooting with the left. He's bumping
Right.
with the left and coming off. So it's the it's not. He's not going to be bumping with the right shoulder. I think his rebounding might suffer. But we'll see.
I hope his game don't suffer, man. Like I don't want jump shot Juju back.
Jump shot Juju.
Like he started beasting down low this year, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish his mentality doesn't change. Like you're right about the shoulder. Like he doesn't necessarily have to bang with the right shoulder, but I just hope his mentality doesn't change because he got hurt.
Right. That would put a lot of pressure on everybody. But still, he'll still have gravity. And if his passing is on point, maybe, we'll get, some open looks from others. But you look at these other teams, they have at least these championship contending teams, at least 2 bona fide scorers, some 3, but at least 2 bona fide go-to scorers. And if Randle is not, that 85 to 100%, that puts a lot of pressure on Brunson. Yeah. All right. Anything else on the Knicks in the standings? I'm okay falling to 8. Geoff wants to claw and stay in, as much as we can. I'm okay with that.
I don't want 8. I want 6.
No. I'm saying if we fall to 8 after we play Philly and Orlando, I don't know. Maybe I'm overconfident in this team when they get back.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. Like I'm not overly concerned. But I do get what Geoff is saying though, because we don't know if we are going to be 100%.
Right.
But to your point, 75% of us is still better than
what we rolling out. Than what we rolling out right now.
Yeah, we rolling like at 45% right now.
With everybody 100% except for us.
Exactly. Everybody that's playing right now. We only play in the Hawks game. Then we only play like 8 people. Didn't Tibs only go like 8 or 9 deep? Like we didn't play that many people.
Well, that's a lot.
You can make the argument we were at 20% because we had 4 starters out.
Yeah, Tibs had an 8-man rotation against the Hawks.
Queen, listen, guys. Shout out to Coach, man. I mean, Coach is losing it over that injury stuff. I mean, he is. He's still going at it, man. Shout out to you, Coach.
Amen.
We all have our plays. Y'all want to see me catch fire? Say something about Brunson at this point in
Right?
at this point in his tenure with
Did you see Tibbs struck again though? Cat tore his meniscus. That's clearly Thibodeau's fault, right?
Yeah. Tibbs ran Cat into the ground.
No, what about it? Hey, people got the nerves to blame Tibbs for Brunson's injury 35 seconds into the game.
Yo.
Yeah, coach. Hey, shout out the coach again, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to
Queen. I'm like 35, 1 minute, first minute of the game, the guy get hurt. Oh, like, yeah, the coach. Yeah, it's the coach's fault. Like, how?
Yeah, he shouldn't have started him.
He shouldn't have started him. I don't get. Oh my god, I mean, just people go buck wild out there with that stuff.
Brunson didn't even start sweating yet when he got hurt.
Oh.
He looked like he just came right off the bench.
Right. Yeah.
On the tape, though, it looked like he hit knees on that screen on the screener first, and then he kind of glanced the knee on the defender, and so I kind of think it was like bop bop, and that kind of just dead legged him is what the replay showed to me.
It's one of those hits that they take 10 seconds to set in because he didn't react to it right away. Then 10 seconds later, it's like, that's when he felt it, I guess.
Well, for the first time I saw it, it looked like a complete non-contact injury, and I was just like, "Oh no, here we, and I'm so answered a prayer. I mean, I'm so thankful that wasn't a meniscus tear or an Achilles, man."
That's what I was like, we cannot have nice things. Look at this.
Injuries like that, I've never experienced that when my knee just went numb or whatever, but I have seen it before multiple times. Like that is actually more common than you think. Like I've seen that a lot.
Football, it would be pretty common.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
You get that blunt force trauma that just kind of, strikes the nerve, so to speak. And
I've seen people act like their leg was completely dead. They go to the sidelines and then, they shake it off. They don't. I've seen somebody come back and play in the same game with that. But the football players, like they're nuts. Some of them. Yeah. It happens.
Chances OG plays Friday or Sunday. Listen, if you're going 5-on-5, you taking contact, you got to see how you respond. If you respond all right tomorrow, which is Friday morning.
Right.
I want that, but I think the plan is to roll them out. It's the first game of the road trip on the 14th. That's what I read.
The 14th. Hold on.
He might be in 10th place by
then. I'm trying to see how many games before. So we just have Friday, Sunday. Are those the only two games between now and the 14th?
No.
Who else?
No, we play Philly again.
We play Philly twice.
So he gonna miss like what, 4 more games? Damn.
That's what I saw. I don't know. That doesn't mean that's what the truth is.
100%.
Jerry Fitz said 100% Sunday. I'm holding Jerry to that. If he doesn't play on Sunday, it's Jerry's fault.
Yep, we gonna get on you, Jerry. He better play.
Listen, OG. Come on now. Toughen up, man. Come on.
I do when you don't, like, I don't know how that works. Say when you're injured, okay, you start playing 5-on-5. Who are you playing against? And like, I don't know how that works, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go from?
Well, I would think he's scrimmaging in practice, right? 5-on-5 scrimmaging
Against us, like he's in his normal role.
We should not be scrimmaging at all, given.
Yeah, I'm about to say, no, he's not scrimmaging against us. Hell no, like no. Yeah, I don't get it. Like if he's playing 5-on-5, like I don't see why he wouldn't play. Like that doesn't really make any sense unless he's not in basketball shape.
Right. But I think it's also you play 5-on-5 and then see how your body responds. Could that be it as well? And listen, I hope he's doing a lot of cardio because once he's cleared,
Tibs gonna play in 40 something,
in 38 minutes or more.
Oh, I thought it was 42. Like we still light on the rosters. That like he got to do what Josh Hart been doing. He got to do what Precious Achiuwa been doing.
64 minutes.
Right. They both have been averaging over 40. OG got to average over 42 now. We got bench players averaging over 40 minutes. So OG gotta come in.
Yeah. The Knicks have been 7-9 without OG and Randle, and still, for the most part, to recently maintain that fourth spot. And I think a lot of it is because the other teams weren't playing, that great either. Though, when you look at the last 10, let me refresh this and see if they've updated the game. They have. When you look at over the last 10, the Knicks is the only one in the top 6, 3-7 over the last 10.
Right.
Boston 9-1. Milwaukee has gotten their mojo back, 7-3. Cleveland 5-5. Orlando has been 8-2 over their last 10. Miami 7-3 over their last 10. The Knicks 3-7. Just holding on. We just holding on. 3-7 over their last 10. Still in fifth. Philly.
So that means the Magic have picked up 5 games on us in the last 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think about that.
This is how things can change in this Eastern Conference, how tightly packed in it is. Philly 4-6 over their last 10, and Indiana, Chicago, and Atlanta 5-5, all 5-5 over their last 10. Those are the top 10 teams. Look at this. Because of injuries, you can have the Knicks playing Orlando, Miami in the 6th seed playing. You think Cleveland want to play Miami? No.
I'll tell you what, if we're healthy, I don't mind facing the Magic. I know they've been dancing on our grave every time we played them this year, but we hadn't played them at full strength yet.
Yeah.
Like the other last game, we had like one starter, and Paulo Banchero's like, "Yeah, we sent him back in." I always hate it when the Knick fans that are in our arena, and I'm like,
Right.
You got to play like our G League roster, bro. What you flexing for? Like, come on. And the Hawks did that the other night too. I'm like, come on, man. And the Pacers did it against us too. They hadn't played our full roster yet either.
Right.
I'm not scared of the Magic at all. If we're fully healthy in the playoffs, not in the 7-game series. No way they beat us in 7 games.
Right. Oh, this is Brooklyn Butch. They actually said Randle is ahead of OG. That's what they said. I read that a few days ago. But now OG is 5-on-5, and Randle is not. So it seems like OG is now ahead of Randle. What do you guys? How do you guys read that?
I agree with you. I think that's true. I think OG is. I think Randle was ahead of OG, but I think OG's back. Of course, I think it was just the nature of the injury too. Once that was cleared and healed, and once he's able to start shooting again, I'm sure he was doing cardio and everything the whole time. I mean, because there's nothing wrong with his legs, right? So he should have been able to do that. But I just get back soon, brother. I can't wait to see OG on the court again.
Right. I'm gonna go with Jerry Fitz, and shout out to Jerry Fitz. Say Randle has to play on Sunday and be able to get to be all NBA, because you missed more than 17 games, you disqualify. So Randle's gonna be back, even if it's for 5 minutes.
He's gonna get the Halliburton treatment. Is that what you're saying? They're gonna play him 20 minutes in the first half and then sit him the rest of the game.
Sit him the rest of the game, so you don't miss more than the 17.
Randle need to have a conversation.
Andy would get to see Randle. That would be okay with me.
Yeah, Randle should have a conversation with the team doctors and Tibs. Like, I need to play on Sunday. I don't care if you play me for 1 minute.
Right.
Isn't there a minutes thing associated with that, or just have to appear? Because I think they have to play a certain amount of minutes in those games. They can't just do the one, because otherwise, why were they playing Halliburton like literally the first half and then sitting him? Like, don't they have to have a certain number of minutes in those games?
No, but he was on a minute. Halliburton was on a minutes restriction though. Coming from his injury. So I think at first, I think he was only able to play like 24 minutes total. For them, for some reason, those 24 minutes, a lot of it wasn't in the fourth quarter for some reason. So that didn't really make sense.
It's weird.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really get it. So when it comes to minutes restrictions, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. How much did we know OG coming back helps, but the fact that he doesn't have the gravity that a Randle has, it'll help our defense. How much do you think it helps us all around, OG? How much better are we with OG without Randle? Because I think his presence, his addition to the team was because we were already set. And it was like just that last little drop of vanilla extract, and it just changed everything, right? But without the baking powder of Randle, will this vanilla do much, for the team? Like, how much is he going to change this team without Randle is the question.
I don't know. We haven't seen him without Randle, right? Didn't they get hurt in the same game or something like that?
No.
Or it was close.
Yeah, they were out the same time frame.
Yeah, I think they missed the same, like that Miami game was Julius Randle's last game. I think it was OG's last game too, wasn't it?
It was. They both, yeah.
Yeah, they got hurt on the same.
No, I don't think so. I think he played. There was one game that he played without Randle.
It was the same game.
Same game?
Yeah. I think
I don't know if they got hurt the same game, but that was the last time
they've played. Yeah. Because with OG, his injury, I think he was hurt during that game, but he played anyway because he had the elbow pad on. Julius Randle just separated his shoulder.
So. See, I think it makes a difference. I think the vanilla extract makes a difference anyway. Okay. Because I'm going to say this. I think that it allows you to do so much more with your lineups. I think it makes Bogdanovich a lot more playable. It makes Pope a lot more playable. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. I think he and Achua are going to be really good together on the court because they've played together in Toronto and they are so switchable. So I think that makes Achua a better player. It actually makes Hartenstein a better player too because he doesn't have to roam and do as much. He can stay home more, which makes it easier on his Achilles, his tendinopathy. So I think, and of course, he covers up if Jalen gets beat at the point of attack. So, because he's everywhere on defense. So yes, I think it won't be our best, but I think it will be much better. I think it does make a huge difference having Anunoby come back. Now, Anunoby and Randle is like 2 levels, right? But I think it's at least 1 level.
Right. Jess, we have 154 watching. I appreciate you rocking with us. Just make sure you hit the like button. Let me refresh. I only have 48. I would think it's more than that. 62. Come on now. Let's get it up to 100. Let's get those likes up to 100.
Yikes.
All right. JJ said, how many games will these guys need to knock the rust off? We don't have much time left.
How many games?
20 games. 20 games. 20 games is a lot of games.
20 games?
I don't think it takes more than 10.
Yeah, we got about a month of games left, 20 games. I think maybe half of them, about 10.
I think that sounds right, Jerrell.
Yeah, 10 games to me seem like it'll be okay for everybody to be, accommodated. Now Stafford with 10, salute Stafford.
JJ said he thinks we need 12 or so.
Damn.
But this is the thing, JJ. That starting unit has played. I guess he's not talking about chemistry. He's talking about rust. Okay, I get it. Because that starting unit has played together 17 games. Or weren't we 15-2 or something like that, or 14-2? So that starting unit has played together. But I hear what you're saying. Rust, not necessarily chemistry. Rust.
With rust, I'm really more worried about Julius Randle, not OG and Mitch mainly because of like conditioning, especially with an ankle injury. I don't know when he'll be able to get in game shape, especially when it comes to Mitch. Like he usually slow when it comes to that. But yeah, Randle, I have no idea what Randle's going to look like.
Yeah.
Because with his shoulder, right? Like he didn't have surgery, so at this point, isn't it just a pain tolerance issue?
Pretty much.
So if he's not back already, it must be really in pain for Randle to not play.
And then the other thing also is if he gets hit on it, because who was the guy who played for us? He talked about his shoulder. He was a draft pick for us. He has a show on NB Channing Frye.
Okay.
He talked about his injury, and he said, it was okay until he got hit, or until he was in a, was put in an awkward position. And you're right, it just came down to.
And if we play Miami, they're just going to punch him right in the shoulder.
I would not let him play the Miami game because Bam Adebayo is going to grab a rebound, come down with the elbow on Julius Randle's shoulder. You could already see it happen, and he gonna look away like he didn't do it on purpose.
Right. Well, yeah. Chris Webber's shoulder kept popping out.
I remember we had shoulder problems too.
Shy Powell said Mitch will be back around the 27th. Are you going to be at Legends, Shy? Let me know.
Shy, we're going to be at Legends on Sunday, man. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, Andy's in town.
Yep.
27th, that's 3 weeks.
Yeah. There was something. Let me see what else. There's something else I starred. Brooklyn Butch, OG makes us better on the glass on both ends, which makes our offense much more efficient. He simply knows to block out the backside, which doesn't allow the center or someone else coming in to grab, I would assume, rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shy Powers, I asked the question, who would you want back first, Randle or OG? I would want Randle back first, but I'll take whoever I can get.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
That's right.
I'll take Hartenstein's Achilles first. I'll take him being at least 90% back first.
Yeah, he looked a little better in the last game, though. He looked a little better.
A little better.
So we still have tickets left. But where's the link, though, Andy? Is it on NBAfam.com? The link to the Knicks. The Knicks play Philly Sunday, 6:00. MBK will be at that game. I'll be there. Sim will be there. Tony Crow, I believe, will be there. Eru, Andy, visiting us from Poland, gracing us with his presence. He'll be there. And there may still be, he's saying there are tickets left.
Let me see if I can find the link.
He did say he'll get Jerrell a ticket.
So maybe we should just chill and just let it.
Nah, I'm not. I wouldn't be able to stay the whole way anyway. Because I will be at Legends though, but I'm not gonna be able to stay for the game. I'm not going to the game.
Okay.
But let me see if I can find the link so I can at least put it in the chat for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, those who want to join us at the game. If not, come to Legends for the pregame podcast. Stay at Legends for the game, because those of us who are going to the game, we're coming right back to Legends for the postgame live podcast. All right. So be sure to join us. Sherwin has finished listening to the State of the Union address, and now he's back to let us know that Shake Milton will not get any time on the Knicks because he can't create his own shot. Okay.
Shake Milton can definitely create his own shot. That's actually the best part of his game. He's a one-on-one player. I wouldn't expect him to do anything else but create his own shot. He's not going to create for anybody else, I don't think. He's not like an assist man like that. Right. Like, I think they brought him in because Burks is struggling. That's simply what it is. So as long as Burks is still struggling, he's going to get some type of burn. I don't know how much he'll get, though, because Deuce is playing better. But if Deuce wasn't playing as well as he was playing, Shake Milton would definitely get burned, because Burks he's not playing well at all.
So do you think we see Shake on Friday?
Hopefully. Like we need bodies, man. We only play 8 people. We only play 8 players. We need a more of a rotation than 8. Like I know is Tom don't want to go, but so long he don't trust Shake Milton at all. But you had to put him out there at least a little bit.
Particularly where we are right now.
Right.
You know how with the injuries. Yeah, Sherman, I don't know if what you don't, he will hit the open shot. Maybe we're not talking about the same player. He will hit the open shot, but he can't create his own shot. I think it's the opposite from what Jerrell is saying.
Yeah, how many times have you watched Shake Milton? That's not his game at all.
Okay. The link is in the chat. I'm gonna pin it to the top for those who want to come to the game. Get a ticket to join us for the game. I just pinned it to the top of the chat. Yeah. When I heard you describing Shake, it sounded a little bit like McBride. Sherman, and McBride has gotten better over time. Listen, I don't care about slowness. Can you get to your spots with herky-jerky moves or handle? However you do it, can you get to your spots? Harden is not the fastest person in the league. Brunson is not the fastest person in the league, but there's still ways you can get to your spot. All right, Trappy, Ryan, if Brunson doesn't play, Shake will get some time tomorrow. Okay.
I hope Brunson plays. He practiced, so maybe there's some hope.
Yes, he did practice. I meant to when I was giving the injury updates to say that.
But it's like you said, you see how he feels after practice. I mean, he may have practiced today and tomorrow he's like, can't get out the bed. And,
Right.
But knowing Brunson, he wants to play. So he, if it's at all possible, he's going to be out there because that's just the type of dude he is.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Sherman.
Hey, Sherman. When Sherman first came back, I read what you had wrote. You said you have seen him play a few times. Now you're telling me you saw Shake play a lot. Which one is it?
A few lot.
Because I've seen him play a lot. Like I've seen Shake play a lot, especially when he was with the Sixers.
Right, and he was with the Sixers for 3 or 4 years, I believe.
5
years with the Sixers.
Wow, 5 years with Philly.
Yeah, that's all he did was come off the bench and score. That was his main job. He's not really, I don't know, he's not a creator for other players. Like he will only average like 2 assists a game.
And he's not a great 3-point shooter. So if he's getting buckets, he's getting them in the mid-range and by, finishing at the rim, I would guess.
Right.
What's his, Jerrell? I know you told us. What's his 3-point percentage? What, 37?
35.7.
Yeah, he's an average 3-point shooter. He gets to the basket.
His 3-pointer is good enough that it keeps the defense honest, though. Like they can't just,
Right.
You can't just leave him open out there. So that opens up some other things for him.
Right.
Some of the other stuff in his bag.
We'll see how it play out. Right. We'll see how all of this plays out with Burks, Bogdanovich, Shake Milton. When we're fully healthy, a lot of guys who, decisions is going to have to be made. And hopefully it's from game to game, like you mentioned, Geoff, and not just these are my 9 guys no matter what. So hopefully that changes from game to game. But decisions are going to have to be made.
10-man rotation, Queen. It's coming.
We'll see. We shall see.
Not buying it, Ed. Not buying it.
Right. Now the next.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Hey, I'll give you props if you're right, boss. But right now, I'm not buying it.
Right. Oh, for those who I know y'all with the burning question is what's the coffee and the right the QR code with the coffee in the middle and the right. I know that was a burning question. Like, what is that?
That thing set the chat on fire, right?
Yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
not,
All
that's not in
talking
my
about
office.
it.
She
Right.
put that up there. She put that.
Yeah, you guys can buy me a cup of coffee. I know this is an older crowd, right? We talked about this when we asked how long people been watching the Knicks from 73, 78. So you got to open your phone. You got to go to the camera app, put it up to the QR code. The link is going to show on your phone. Tap the link, and then you can buy me a cup of coffee. That's how it works for all of the people who are into the bubble codes and stuff like that. This is a new era.
Queen, I still laugh about that when we were asking people how old they were and how long they've been watching the Knicks. I forgot who it was. Somebody said 89. You're like, wait, you 89 years old? It's like, no. I've been watching since 89.
Right.
I don't know. It might have been Mega too. It might have been.
Listen, if
shout
you
out to
89,
Mega.
we gonna buy you a cup of coffee. You know how
Right.
you go to the family reunion, they have gift cards, at least in my family reunion. Who traveled the longest? Who was the oldest? You know. Oh God. Jerry Fitz. Burks knows how to run an offense. He's trying to score now with all the injuries. When everyone's back, he will be in the second unit, not shoot much at all. Not sure Tibs trust McBride to run the second. All right, maybe not to run it, but he will be in that second unit if I had to put money on it.
I think he trusts him more to run the second unit every day. I mean, he put him out there 47 minutes the other night, so he pretty much said, "You're my guy, buddy."
Yeah, I mean, we shall see how it all plays out, particularly in the playoffs. I know there's, for me, and I know Josh, shout out to Uncle Fulio. We did a show on Knicks and Bruises, and you know, he made a good point. He said he doesn't put any stock into regular season NBA games to tell him how a team is going to play against another team in the playoffs. You know, we blew out Denver by 46. You think if we're in a 7-game series with Denver, it's going to be like that? So basically, he doesn't put a lot of stock in how we play against other teams in the regular season because the playoffs are different. I feel the same way about players. I don't care how you rocking and rolling in the regular season. I need to see it translate in the playoffs because I've seen players play very well in the regular season, and in the playoffs, they look like a shell of themselves. So I want to see, how does McBride translate to the playoffs? Burks, Bogey, you know, Bogey has playoff experience. How does who else? Precious. All of these guys who are playing well right now. Let's see.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Hartenstein. You know, well, Hartenstein and Mitch played well last year too, but do they take the next step? Particularly the deeper you go in the playoffs. You're playing better teams each time, you know? And so somebody can play well in the first round when you're playing, I don't know, Indiana. In the second round, you got Milwaukee or Boston. It's a different story, you know? So I'm really interested to see how.
Let's just get out. Let's get to the first round first.
Yeah,
then let's get out of the first round. Then we can worry about how they're going to play in the second round.
Right. But I mean, just bringing up the point that a lot of times it may not translate as well as we think.
Agreed.
Wilson Dang, my elders, call me up if you need help with tech. Here we go, Wilson Dang. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. Hopefully you're subscribed to the channel. I know we talk about the likes and hitting the like button. Hopefully everybody, all 146 people watching the show, are subscribed to the channel.
And turn on notifications.
East Blue Drew, I swear this has been a good time for our bench to develop. Yeah, for sure.
We'll see how it pays dividends when it matters, as Queen was saying. It'll be interesting to see if that experience translates come, crunch time.
I think so. As long as by bench you don't mean Jacob Toppins. because he ain't developed.
Right. Anything else? You know, I mean,
My man said Jacob Toppin.
That's why I had to laugh. Like, all right.
He played a game and a half.
Poor Jacob Toppin.
where we at? We at 74 likes. Come on now. We got like 74 holdouts, if not more. More than that.
Come on,
Yeah,
y'all.
about half, yeah.
I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna try to find a highlight tape of Shake Milton.
Oh, that would be great.
Put it in the chat. Hold on. Give me a second.
Ah, we can put it. You could do a screen share.
Oh, okay. Do that.
We could
Let
do
me
a
see
screen
if
share. It was mega. This is the receipt guy. Listen, don't say anything around Stafford.
It was
Not only
mega.
is he gonna remember it, right now he could probably go back to that show and pull up the tape where Mega said he was 89 and
He's
we asked
89. Yeah, that was mega.
He knows the timestamp.
Yeah, Mega. Queen asked, wait, are you 89? Queen was like, damn, it's 89
I
year old
was gonna
listening
say,
to the show.
I appreciate you staying up to watch the show. Oh,
I just thought of something. If I play it up here, I don't know, depending on how long the highlights is I don't want you to get flagged.
Yeah, we don't want any
Yeah,
copyright.
the NBA games. They like because I'm watching it now,
mhm.
and they're not like quick clips,
Okay.
so you might get flagged. But I'll put it in the chat.
Put the link in the chat for
Yeah, I'll
those
put it
who,
in the chat.
you know,
For
wanna see
Sherwin.
the Shake. Yeah, for sure.
No, not necessarily for Sherman.
For Sherwin too.
I'm just giving
It's-
Sherwin a look.
and
It's
anybody
okay. I'll
else.
let him know.
Not
But
for Sherwin, because Sherwin seen a lot of Shake Milton games, remember?
right.
All right.
Jerry Fitz said, I don't know why folks don't hit the like button on the way in. Yeah.
I don't get it either. Well, sometimes we forget, like us on the panel here, we
Yeah,
forget.
I do. Right. I do. I was gonna ask.
I
Oh,
put
there
it
we
in,
go.
I put it in the chat. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I think if you show it, you might get flagged. I don't want to even risk that.
Right. And I watched the highlights of with Bojan
Mhm.
just to get it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he did his own shot too.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he got a
Yep.
little more than yeah.
Well, in that game against Cleveland, he was 1 for 6 from deep. So he was scoring, and it wasn't from long distance. He was putting moves on and getting to the bucket and doing mid range, and he had 20 points in that game.
Yeah, Sherman, you need to watch this.
And plus, Sherman said, turn the volume down. You will not get flagged. That does not work. You will get flagged. My page got taken down for doing that. Thinking I can mute it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that don't work. It's a visual thing. Eru's show recently got flagged too for him doing that.
John 17 said, fun fact, his real name is Malik Milton. Shake is a nickname. So maybe that'll tell you what we need to know.
Yo, if his mama named that boy Shake for real, that would be crazy. that would be crazy.
Right. But I think Shake is that's his game. Shake. That's probably where he got his nickname, from shaking people.
No. I
And
don't
we should start calling Deuce Shake because he broke Evan Ogley's ankle the other night.
That he did.
That was funny.
It actually sprained his ankle on that. Did you know that?
Didn't
He
he?
actually hurt his ankle on that play.
He hurt his ego on that play. It had nothing to do with his ankle. He played the rest of the game fine. He just soft.
I saw somebody on Twitter said that the Cuyahoga County was putting a murder investigation out on Deuce McBride.
After the game, Evan Mobley said the team got out of rhythm because Jalen Brunson got hurt after 47 seconds?
35 or something. Not even. Like it was like very like the first possession. There's like
Crazy.
half a minute.
Yeah, his father's name is Milk, so they nicknamed him Shake. You see how we do be doing people with nicknames?
Is it after midnight already?
No. I don't even think we're gonna make it. Thank you, Trish. Trish D bought me 3 coffees.
That's what's up. Salute.
Salute.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Everybody else who support the channel and, just showing up, subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button, the super chats, and the special coffees. Appreciate it.
And even just the activity on the chat, man. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm watching Shake right now. We good.
He can get his own shot, right?
He's not a bad player.
He don't do nothing but get his own shot. That's his whole game.
Yeah.
One-on-one. He's a one-on-one basketball player.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole reason he in the league. At least that was the only reason, Philly had him coming off the bench for those 5 years. One of them, he was actually in the running for 6th man of the year one time.
He was 2020, the 2021 season.
Okay. Yeah.
He was 12th.
Yeah, I remember that. Like Shake was nice at one point. I don't know what has happened to him since, but going from Minnesota to Detroit or whatever. But yeah, he can play. He has game.
If
maybe they were looking more for like a distributor.
Maybe because he's not. Yeah, I wouldn't. He's not Jason Kidd out there now.
I think if he gets minutes here, man, he's gonna be super helpful.
Right.
Just like Precious, like he's got the opportunity. They make the best of it. I think if Shake gets some minutes, I think he could help us.
Yeah, as long as his role isn't too crazy, like
right.
Yeah, I think he'd be.
He's a role player for a reason, and the thing is, one of the things Tibs does a good job. No, I'm kidding. I know. Actually, was
you got to get on. We about to have a whole another hour and a half worth of show, y'all. We was like 20 minutes later. They was arguing in the background. They go say that.
Now, what's she about to say?
Wait, I know for real. I stopped. I froze there for a little bit. I was like, wait a minute, what?
When the show is over, they still gonna be arguing in the back while everybody else.
That's facts right there.
Right. But the thing about it is, that's Tibs' job to find your role for the players, and for them to come in and just play your role. That's it. Yeah. So Sherwin, just look at the highlights.
He just said his last thing he said Shake has no shake.
All right.
So maybe he don't like it.
Okay. All right.
He says he's melting.
And he said, if you see Shake getting his own shots, you must be seeing another Shake.
Did you click on the link, Sherwin? Click on the link.
The link that I put up there is like over 8 minutes of him getting his own damn shot, Sherwin. I don't get it.
Queen, let me start something here. I want
to. Yeah. Salute to Trey.
Go ahead.
Salute to Trey from Barbershop Sports.
Yeah, salute. I was on one of their podcasts. Appreciate them. Great news to hear our guys are coming back soon. Listen, I'm on OJ should be there Sunday.
Well, Jerry Fitz said 100%, so you don't got to worry about it.
Yep, Jerry said 100%, so
100%.
OG is definitely playing.
Queen, I don't know what they talking about in the chat, but Knicks 100 GM says we got PJ Tucker. His name is Josh Hart. That is totally not true.
No, PJ
Tucker and Josh Hart are not the same player at all. Not at all. So I don't know how you came to that. They're not the same player.
Maybe he means the type of mentality he's playing. I don't know the conversation. I wasn't looking at that.
I know, but
I'm thinking maybe the mentality, because that would make sense.
They're both dogs,
Yeah,
and that's it. That's about it.
Two different type of dogs, though.
Two different type of dogs.
Yeah,
like
P. He's a 3-and-D guy. Josh,
yes.
I don't know.
Josh is not a 3-and-D guy.
He I don't even know.
He's not a 3-and-D
Yeah,
guy.
drive,
C and
He's an
D and
energy.
E, and maybe a
He's
little bit of
Energizer Bunny.
Drive and D.
yeah, that's what I said. He's a drive
D
guy.
and D.
Mm-hmm.
He said they're the same exact player. Nah, I don't think so.
Nah, come on.
Not especially not at this point of PJ Tucker's career. Maybe if you would have caught me like with early PJ, then I could see that. But not PJ now. Like he like a quarter of Josh Hart. Now see, he said Tucker is the original Josh Hart. Now I can see that, like young PJ Tucker when he was actually, running up and down and not looking old, and yeah.
Sherwin, did you watch the tape?
No, that's why he never answered your question.
Right, and that's why he keeps saying the same thing
over and over again.
Over and over again.
Sure.
Hey man, that's why we on Thursday nights. Baby.
Yeah, I mean when
you the best show on TV, baby.
When you get a hold of something, it's like
can't let it go.
Not gonna let it go. Somebody's coming to you with evidence. No. That cannot be true.
He said Shake is a right hand high dribbler. He can't get by his defender. Meanwhile, we watching the highlights that's showing him getting by his defender like
every single time
after
time. The highlight tape.
Because Sherwin really not.
Those were the only 8 good minutes he had his whole career.
His whole career, right? That
was just off one season. That was off the 22-23 season. His last, I think this last season with Philly.
Right. Anything else? I don't really have any other questions, any other comments. Anybody has any? Yeah.
No, we didn't look at the next few games though.
Okay, let's look at the next few games.
Bring your little chart out. I don't even call it a schedule. Damn line graph you got over there. I don't know what that is. You printed out a whole PowerPoint presentation.
Old school, baby.
He used an entire toner cartridge to print that schedule.
I know, right? That did use a lot of ink.
Listen, Sherwin, this is what I will say. I agree with you. If we're talking about, I'm not going to let a highlight tell me the type of player someone does.
Correct.
So the overall player someone is. No, a highlight play is not going to tell me that. Right. But it could tell you a lot about the player's skill set, though. Right? When I saw Bojan, I was like, okay, he's not just a shooter. He can put the ball on, he can put the ball on the floor. He can pass the ball. He can. So it tells you about their skill set, right? So this is what we're talking about with Shake. We're not talking about the overall type of player he is, which you're right. You're not going to get that from a highlight film. But you can get a sense of the person's skill set by watching a highlight film, no? All you see in the highlight is him getting in the lane, unless, as Geoff said, those are the only highlights of his career. What we're seeing,
and even if they were, it still proves that he can do it.
Right, it still proves that he can do it.
That was the whole point of the highlight, to prove that he can do it, not to prove that what his whole entire game is.
Right,
like it wasn't film. That's why I put up their highlights.
Right,
there's a difference.
Right. Yeah.
So my question is, can Bojan ever shoot a 3 without doing that fake first?
Who? The fake?
Bojan. He always does that little ball fake before he shoots that 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen him catch and release it real quick. I see him release like it barely touches it.
He loves that ball fake. It seems like every time he gets the ball.
I think maybe because he's slow and most like you have like that clock, you have to fake it in order to get your shot off. Maybe I'm thinking that would be my only guess. But yeah, if he does that every time, that's weird.
May not be every time, but it just seems like he does it a lot.
Yeah, when you slow, Jeff, you got to put that ball fake out there. You got to show it to him a little bit so they can, you know, he's not gonna, you know, outrun anybody. So I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? It might be an early night today. Again,
I
Sherwin,
think
we're
we're
not
going to
talking.
those games now.
Yeah, Sherwin, this is the last time I'm going to address you. The last time. When you see Obi on highlights, he looks like a star. Again, we're not talking about Obi Toppin overall, but when you see his highlights, you see that he can dunk.
Right. That was the whole
His skill
It
set.
looks like
That's what we're trying to say. Not his overall game. His skill set you can see from highlights.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
so. It would be like Sherwin telling us Obi can't dunk.
Yeah, he can't
And then
dunk at all.
and then Jerrell shows highlight of Obi dunking all over the place.
In the slam dunk contest.
Right. And him saying, I don't listen to highlights because it's not going to tell you who Obi is as a player. We agree. There's no argument there. But
Not
it's
at
going
all.
to tell you his skill set. Anyway, enough. Love you, sure. Right. Any last words? We want to talk about, so we play Orlando tomorrow. Sunday we play Philly. Tuesday we play, is it Monday or Tuesday we play Philly again?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And both at home too at Madison Square Garden. I think Philly's getting swept this year.
We got one more game after that too. Play Thursday.
Jeez.
No, yeah, we play Portland on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But Philly, because we beat Philly twice already this year. The next two games, man, I don't know.
I feel like we got to rack up some wins. I mean,
I think we're sweeping them this season.
Wow.
I hope.
And it's not that they don't have a good team. Even without Joel Embiid, they still got good players. But I don't think, is Maxey back? Is he playing?
Yeah, he was in concussion protocol. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let me see.
sure he'll be back by Sunday if it's just concussion protocol.
Oh, I saw that. I was watching that too. He hit his head against somebody's knee or something like that.
Yeah, they played yesterday and he didn't play, so there's no telling whether he'd be available on Sunday.
Well, who we dragging into the game?
Right? We don't know who we playing. So
Ajay said that Julius is playing. Jerry Fitz told me that OG is playing.
Yep.
So now all we have to do.
No, Jerry Fitz said Randle is playing, so I said I'm going with him. I'm with you, Jerry.
No, he said OG was playing. 100%.
No, he did say Randle because of the 17 game threshold.
I think
he said that the other night. You're right. He did.
He said that the other night. But he did say today that he believes OG may play Friday, but it's a definite on Sunday.
Yeah, he said 100% on Sunday. So we'll see.
We get Brunson and OG back next game. Oof.
Tomorrow for Orlando, we would need it. They on a 5-game winning streak,
and they're big.
Mm-hmm.
They have size.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just go over just our predictions before we get out of here. 4-game week before we meet again. Orlando, Philly, Portland.
You just want a record?
Yeah. Where we going?
I'm gonna go 2-2. Just to be safe.
I'm gonna go 2-2. And Ajay, be careful.
Ajay's got to go 4-0.
Ajay's going 4-0.
Going 4-0. That's why he laughed.
Like I always say, I always go into the game expecting the Knicks to win. So, but since we hurt, I'm gonna say 3-1. I don't know who's gonna be the one. So if we lose to Orlando tomorrow, then Philly's getting swept and we beating Portland. So because we winning 3 out of the next 4 games minimum.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we got receipts. Remember that. We got receipts if we don't.
Right.
Man,
You got
I,
receipts.
I
I'm
don't
tell
care.
Stafford I'm gonna tell Stafford to pull this.
Stafford gonna
Jerrell.
pull it on you. We're gonna play the
Jerrell,
clip. We're gonna play the clip next week.
after, listen,
And we're gonna make you apologize to Stafford.
I could tell you, I could change my mind any day. After, if we lose the next the first two
If we
games, I'll
lose
be
the
like,
first
okay,
two, then we're definitely
like,
not going 3-1. He's gonna change his mind at that
I'll
point.
change my mind.
Stafford just loose back. Yeah.
Give me a minute. You guys can carry on. Give me.
All right. Yeah, salute to Stafford, man. Stafford said that we going 1-4 because of you, man. Or 1-3, whatever. Like you say, we
Oh, don't
lose
hurt him,
because of you.
Stafford. Be
No,
easy on him.
Hey, man, can't do that, AJ.
listen, think about it this way, right? I always say we're gonna win every game, right?
Yes.
So this season, that means this season, so far, I'm right 36 times, more so than I'm wrong.
So you've been
Right?
wrong 26 times.
I've only been wrong 26 times, so I've been right more than I've been wrong.
All right.
All right?
You're right. You're right. You
So-
had a good 58%.
Yeah, there you go. So
That's good.
yeah,
Well, salute to everybody in the chat, man.
man, hit the like button, man. Why you guys? I mean, what's going on tonight, man? What is going on tonight?
Matter of
There's a
fact-
lot of people watching, but
Hit the likes before Steph get back so she could be like, oh, we got over 100 now. We got
yeah,
86
no,
likes.
we got
Can we get
86,
over-
man.
Can we get over 100 before she get back?
We need 14 more to make it 100. Come on, y'all. Let's make this happen.
Oh, we got a couple. Got a
Let-
couple, and we at 87.
Who's those couple? You and Geoff, Jerrell?
I'm about
You
to
guys, you guys fine?
I was the 11th one.
I'm about to I'm gonna go on Die Hard Giants. We about to get another one. Hold on.
All right.
I don't mind cheating to get them numbers up. Believe that.
When I get to work tomorrow, I'll definitely like it with
Listen,
the
so-
replay gang, so we get another one.
Just
Jerrell, I don't know. I'm sure you got the Celtics Denver game on, right?
I had it up there talking. Yeah, I got him on now.
Listen, they tied at 66, right? So
Mhm.
listen, those teams, Denver was up by 10 points. I swear, in about like 90 seconds, Boston tied the game.
Yeah, Boston's a problem. I keep
Well-
telling people like they're the only team in the East. I wouldn't say only because Milwaukee is obviously a problem for us, especially with Giannis, and they have size. Boston is a problem. Boston is, they can win the championship. Like I would not be shocked if they won the championship this
Jerrell,
year.
you starting to sound like me, Jerrell. I said that the other day, and then Queen was like, "You really think we can't beat Boston? Is a problem."
Well, I don't
Listen-
want to say that we can't beat them though. That's the
Well,
thing.
Jerrell, it's the NBA. Anything can happen, right?
That's-
Anything can happen. But on paper, they are a problem.
Yes.
And you
What's
watch them,
amazing to me is if you said before the season that Boston was going to be healthy the entire year, and the Knicks were going to have this whole rash of injuries, I would have thought it would have been swapped, right? Because you got Holiday, who's got a huge injury history. You got KP has never played as many games, I don't think, as he's played this year. You know, and so, but they've been real healthy. They're just killing folks. It hurts my heart.
and I tell you, when you watch the games, Geoff, like the other team is playing like really hard, but Boston's playing like almost like super easy, like really slow. Like they're like completely unfazed, and then they're winning like big. Like the game is really, really slow for them. They're a problem. I'm telling you, they're a
Just
problem.
well put together.
Oh,
Well
man.
put together team.
Steph back now. Let me see the likes. Steph, when you left, I tried to get the chat to get us to 100 likes before
Challenge.
you got back.
Jerrell
And
challenged them.
we failed.
failed.
We was close though because we was at like what 82, I think, and we're
Right,
on what 90,
No, 95.
95.
95.
We
So
just need 5 more likes.
we just need 5.
We on
Man.
95.
Oh, and I went on Die Hard Giants and liked it too, Steph. I told him I don't mind cheating. I don't mind cheating for the numbers. I don't care.
I'm about to get one more. Shout out to Wiz who I just saw Wiz. If you don't hit the like button, I'm gonna say something bad about Deuce. Like,
Steve Wiz about to get on his burner. He's gonna get another like.
Right. Queen Sherwin got you off camera like Ajay did Stafford.
Argue with Sherman. Steph he had to go off camera and take a shot. He's like, hold on, I'll be right back. Messing with y'all in the chat, man.
Oh God! Yeah. So he's gonna.
That is funny.
And thanks for the coffee, A Train also sent me a cup of coffee the other week.
Man, you're gonna have the jitters. You got so much coffee.
I know.
She ain't gonna sleep for a week.
Right.
You needed that when you had your conference last week, probably.
Oh my God. And Lady in the Chef also sent me a cup of coffee. I appreciate you.
Oh,
yeah,
Steph.
these West Coast conferences, and you want to go over. Come on.
Right.
The nerve.
Steph, before we go off, you want to talk about the Sunday again?
Yes.
It's still the link still pinned in the top of the chat.
So the link is pinned in the top of the chat for those who are in the tri-state area and want to come to the Knicks versus Philly game. It's an MBK event. International Andy, I'm not sure how many are familiar with him, part of the MBK family, lives in Poland. He is in the United States for a few weeks, I believe. And so we have an event Sunday. So we're going to do a live pregame at Legends. Then we're going to go to the game, and then we're going to come back to Legends for a live post game. So the link is in the chat if you want to buy a ticket to the Philadelphia game and hang out, the Philly game, and hang out with us. But if you don't want to come to the game and you just want to go to Legends and treat it as a watch party, be a part of the pregame, stay there for the game, we're coming back for the post game, that would be great. I would love to meet you guys.
Nick,
What?
He came all the way from Poland. Y'all got to win this game.
Right.
He came all the way from Poland to see y'all. Y'all can't send him out with an L. Y'all got to get a W on Sunday.
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
Come to Legends before the game. I'm gonna definitely be there.
Wiz, you bring up a good point. A lot of times when Drew came around, we were like, oh, we're not championship contenders yet. We don't really need Drew. He's a luxury. But sometimes that's what gets you to championship contention, getting players like Drew. You know what I mean? Yep. Just imagine where we would be right now with Drew Holiday on this.
Wouldn't have minded that at all. I would have liked Drew Holiday on this team. He would have fit perfect at the 2 for us.
He's almost an afterthought on that roster. Think about that.
That's how good that roster. That's
how good that roster is. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, they have Drew Holiday. Everybody talks about Brown and Tatum and Kristaps and even Derek White, but yeah, they got Drew Holiday too.
Yeah,
Porzingis, he is having a season.
I mean, you got to look at his team. There's no pressure on him.
Yeah, no pressure.
That's right, exactly. He could play free.
Yep.
He's the third, maybe even fourth option. He's probably the third option on that team. But
and he gets wide open looks because you can't double anybody.
Well, he's the third, but there are 3 third options because you have Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and then you got KP.
Right.
You have Derek White and you have Drew Holiday. I mean, those guys.
Well, let's put it this way: if you put Derek White back on the Spurs this year, he isn't having the kind of season he's having right now. You know what I mean? He's definitely benefiting from all the. Not that he's not a good player; he was a good player in San Antonio, but he's just look. Everybody else commands so much attention. He can just kill people. It's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Get them likes up, man. We got 98 now.
We need two likes before we get out of here.
We're talking about Boston because we're in the East, but Denver is just as much a problem in the West for them teams out there.
Denver is.
Especially with Cat going down. Minnesota can't sustain, I don't think, without that.
Yeah,
so,
we didn't talk about
young.
We didn't talk about the Cat injury.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, even with Cat, they were a young team, them and OKC. And think about who was in those 7th and 8th spots: the Golden State, the Lakers. So that was going to shape up like the up and coming team versus these old Grizzly teams. And now with Cat gone, yeah.
And don't count out the Clippers either, by the way.
No, not at
You're
all.
welcome.
I think the Clippers are actually the scariest team in the West.
If
I'm not
they're
counting.
healthy, they're a problem.
Yeah, I'm not counting Denver as scary because you already know what you're getting with Denver.
Right.
With the Clippers, if all three of them are healthy, if Russ, Paul George, and Kawhi is healthy, they could be tough out for a 7-game series, man. Like, how do you beat them 4 out of 7? It's gonna be tough.
I think they wanted. I think they wanted Mitchell Robinson. Wiz, if I remember correctly, because remember they got what's his name? Williams. What's Williams' first name? Is it Robert Williams, the third or the second?
Yeah, Robert Williams.
Yeah, I think they wanted Mitch. I think that was the hold up. But anyway.
We had 100.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hey.
Good job, people. That's what I'm talking about.
101.
What? Get a bonus.
102. Look at y'all now.
What?
Look at them now.
Look at y'all now.
Sitting over there holding back. They're holding out, man.
They wanted us to get off first. They didn't want to.
They're like, all right, end this thing.
Right.
You don't care how it ends as long as it ends.
Right. I do question Boston's heart and passion, though. They are talent heavy, but I don't trust their heart and grit. I mean, that's been the knock on them. We'll see. We'll see in the playoffs. It's just playoffs is just it's just so different. So we shall see.
Shout out to Sharon.
Appreciate
100 likes and keep going.
Yeah, you don't have to stop there. We could, 140 would be better.
I ain't gonna see that, Jeff, though. I'm tired. I got
I'm about to say
No, they don't have to do it right now. They could do it on the way out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Hit that like button on the way out, like I always say.
I see some new
103
people
now.
in the chat. Oh, because I want to get it right. Please forgive me if I don't. Shafiq Abdul Rafi. I don't know how I did with that.
You got it.
I think you got it.
I appreciate you.
Abdul Rafi.
You part of the replay game. That's what's up.
Wait.
Salute.
Part of the replay gang. I appreciate you for catching us live.
Salute.
That's awesome.
Shout out to you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and shout out to the replay gang, man. And those comments, keep them coming when you guys watch the show, on your own time, on your own schedule. When you make comments, we come in and we chop it up in there in those comments too.
And that helps the algorithm also. The comments do, just like
comments helps the algorithm as well. Yep. Just drop a comment. I know Mega does a good job with that. Somebody else, just who's Pudge? Pudge
Pudge
nice.
I know, but he has a different name now, right?
Knicks are nice.
Knicks are nice.
He'll just come by and say replay gang. That's it. Yep.
That works.
All those coffees gonna have Queen doing another 3 hours. I got to drive. I do have a drive. Hopefully,
Ron from Still Knick fans.
Yeah.
5 on the minimum.
Yeah. He said I got it right.
Nice.
Any last words?
I just like to say thank you, Queen. This doesn't happen without you. Jerrell, Ajay are great, but you are the hostess with the mostest. So we appreciate you giving us the forum to give our opinions here, and shout out to the chat. Always the best chat on YouTube, bar none. So y'all keep keeping it real and keep keeping us on our toes, because it's definitely a more fun show when you guys are live and active like you were tonight.
Yes, like you are.
Definitely, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here chopping it with you guys, and shout out to Queen, Geoff, Jerrell, the chat, Stafford who couldn't be here. Stafford, get well, my brother, and everybody else who checked in with us, man. Everybody else who checked in.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jerrell, Ajay, Geoff. Me and Ajay be going at it on with Thibodeau.
We're about to go at it after you she press in. I'm leaving.
And Ajay, Ajay, you are the common denominator. I think you're becoming an agitator.
Yep.
The agitator.
The
They
agitator.
call you Tater for short.
He called himself Ajay the villain for a reason. You know what he's doing?
For real. For
You know
real.
what he's doing, man.
Shout out to C718. I hope I got that right. I appreciate y'all. I always listen but never comment. That song is fire. Appreciate you
Hey, Boog.
listening and rocking, with us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be baller for real. It's been a minute. How you doing? I appreciate you as well. Sharon Cloyd. Sharon Cloyd. I hope I got that right. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you got it right.
A-Train. Appreciate you. JJ always rocking with us. Trish D.
Yep.
Stafford, get ready. I'm not Wiz, Mega, Sherwin, nothing but love. Nothing but love.
Yeah, salute to Sherwin. We was giving him a hard time tonight.
Yeah, we were giving him a hard time.
Old head, Mega.
Old head, Mega, Brooklyn.
And Jerry Fitz.
But JJ usually, because I'm surprised JJ didn't ask to call, because JJ be getting nervous, man. JJ's like biting his nails, like we're gonna fall into play in. What's going on? But
listen, we are though only about a half.
It's very possible.
It's very possible. We are a game and a half. So we got a little window with if OG and Brunson.
Wait. I got a good one. We need to be in the 6th seed. Listen, we land in the 6th seed, we will succeed. Ha ha ha.
See, you didn't been on here long enough. Once Ajay starts spitting bars, that's how long we've been on. Ajay spitting bars on him.
But he going back to the early 1970s hip hop though.
That was Curtis Blow. I didn't know what that was.
That was smoking that good stuff out in LA.
You definitely got some cool Mo D in you, Ajay.
Cool Mo D.
Cool Mo D was my guy now.
That was back when it was all about the lyrics. Okay, all right.
Wild West.
Oh boy. Where said if we land in 5, we will survive.
Nah, we ain't starting this. People ain't gonna just be putting up bars in the chat.
Well, what do we do if we get in 4? If we finish in 4?
See, you asking for the bars now? No.
Oh boy. If we make 4, we will soar.
You can be baller.
Oh God. Oh, God.
My heart is hurting.
You guys are funny. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, wait, let me put this down before we get out of here. Anyway, I appreciate the chat. Ajay again, Jerrell. Yeah, there's no channel without the panel. I know bars. There's no channel without the panel.
Oh man.
Until next time, family.
Peace.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now, pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Don't so.
Where you at?
Don't so.